everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build video on my channel. My name is Ashley for those of you who have not met me yet, and I usually do Sims 4 base game builds every single Monday, but today I am coming at you with my second ever non-base game build. Yeah, I've only ever done one other non-base game build on my channel, and that was my build using the Cats and Dogs expansion pack that I posted a couple weeks ago. So you can go check that out if you want to. It seemed like you guys really liked that. So I thought I would come at you guys with another non-base game build. And this one is using the Get to Work expansion pack. So there's only base game plus Get to Work in this build. So if you only have that expansion pack, you are in luck because this build is only using that expansion pack. So a fun fact, this is the only other expansion pack that I own. I only own Cats and Dogs, City Living, and Get to Work. So this is all I really have to work with, you guys. So if you are new to my channel, I usually only build base game every Monday, but lately I've been trying to branch out and use maybe one pack in my builds because I know that a lot of you guys do actually have packs. You don't necessarily have all of the packs, but you do have some. So I want to cater to those people as well. I also want to prove to you guys that you don't need a ton of packs in order to build amazing things. So today's build, as you can tell, is going to be a very pretty and very fancy kind of looking build, and it sits on a 30 by 20 lot, costs around 157,000 simoleons, it has 1 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, and it can fit 1 or 2 Sims. So the Sim that I imagine would live here is maybe one single female Sim. So it's kind of like a bachelorette pad, if you will. But the inside is definitely very white, very bright, and very girly. And what I had in mind when I started to build this was initially I thought I was going to build kind of like a YouTuber's house. But then I saw that kind of photo studio thing that comes with the Get to Work. And I thought more, maybe this would be like an Instagram model's house, if you guys know what I mean. So maybe like a girl who's like super girly, super into makeup. She's maybe like an Instagram model or a beauty guru or something like that. So she has, you know, makeup everywhere, which you will see I kind of put nail polish and perfume and stuff like that all over the house. I gave her a nice vanity in her room, and then there's a giant kind of photo shoot set up upstairs where she can have all of her photo shoots and bring all of her team over to her house so she can take nice photos there and have like a mini party while she has a nice photo shoot and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely very catered towards a specific type of Sim, but again, you can kind of change around things however you like and put in the skill building activities that you need. But I think that the exterior of this house is so pretty. I really like the landscaping, and I just really like the facade of the house. I think it's so just girly and elegant and just really bright, and I don't really know how to describe it, but I really like all of the black doors and the black windows that we got with the Get to Work expansion pack. I just think that they are totally my style, and they're just super girly, and I know that they're meant for kind of retail stores and kind of like a boutique or something like that, because that's what the Get to Work expansion pack was for. It's for making kind of retail shops, boutique shops, coffee shops, and that kind of thing. But I wanted to show you guys how you can use the Get to Work expansion pack to make more like a residential home, because I think that a lot of people sometimes will only associate a certain pack to a certain style of build or something like that, and I want to show you guys that you can use the pack in whatever way you want to. So I know that the interior of this house, when I get to it, might not be everyone's cup of tea. It might be a little bit too white, too bright, and I know a lot of people always tell me like, oh Ash, like don't use white and stuff like that, but you know, that's my style and that's what I like, and I know that a lot of other people like that too, and I think that the really white and bright style fits the vibe of what I was trying to go for, so I hope that you guys see that. So one thing that I want to mention is I did say that I was going to have a Q&A for my 1,000 subscribers, and I never ended up making like a specific video to answer all of your questions because I was going to do it in my Love It or List It episode when I renovated a penthouse, but that series is actually in the works right now, and I'm going to release it in a couple of weeks when I, bring the series back for season 2. So in the meantime, I don't really want to leave you guys hanging, but I also don't want to just dedicate one video to answering your questions. So I think what I'm going to do is, since I received so many questions, I'm going to kind of answer them little by little over a series of videos. So every single video, I'll answer a couple of your questions during the voiceover. So I think that'll keep things a little bit interesting so that every single week you find out a little bit more about me instead of just bombing through all of your questions at once and kind of rushing through them. So I hope you guys are okay with that idea, and I hope you guys are okay with learning a little bit about me in every single video. So I'm going to just jump right into answering some of your questions, but as you guys know, since I am going to be having my Q&A over a couple of videos, you can feel free to leave more questions in the comment section down below, and I will probably answer them next week or the week after that. So the first question comes from a girl. Her username is M, so I'm assuming her name is maybe Emily or Emma, so hello, and she asked me, what packs do I own? So I just answered this, but I'll say it again. I only have 3 expansion packs. I have the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, Get to Work, and the City Living expansion pack, and the base game. So yeah, let me know what packs you guys have down below. But yay for team limited packs, am I right? So on to the next question. Chrissy York asks me, what's your favorite aspect about The Sims, and do you want to someday have all of the packs? So I'm going to answer the second part of that question first. Yes, I think I would one day want to have all of the packs. However, do I have the desire to have them all right now? Not really. To be honest, I am in no rush to buy all of the packs. I'm completely happy with my game right now. I don't feel like there's anything missing. I don't feel like I'm running out of build ideas or anything like that. So yeah, I recently just added the Cats and Dogs expansion pack to my game, and that's already opened up a whole new chapter of build ideas. And this is my first time building with Get to Work. So again, so many more build ideas coming from this. So I don't think that I necessarily want more packs anytime soon because I'm still exploring what I have now. So yeah, to answer your question, I do someday want to have all of the packs. However, I am in no rush to get them right now, and I'm completely happy with the way my game is right now. Okay, so on to the next question, and this one comes from someone by the username Kaj. And firstly, I just want to say, Kaj, you always leave me such nice and supportive comments, so thank you for doing that every single week. So Kaj asked what kind of computer I have and what are the specs and stuff like that, because they, I guess, are in the market for a new computer. So I don't actually use what the typical gamer or the typical YouTuber uses. I think most YouTubers and most gamers use a PC. However, I do not. I have a MacBook. So I actually play, record, edit everything on a 15-inch MacBook Pro. So I will put all of the actual technical specs up on the screen right now. But what I can tell you, if you are going to try and either play or start a YouTube channel or do anything on an Apple device, the 15-inch MacBooks are significantly better for gaming than a 13-inch MacBook. In fact, even if it's a MacBook Pro, you should definitely stay away from 13-inch MacBook Pros if you want to play any type of games on it. So the 15-inch is significantly better than the 13-inch, just FYI, if anyone is interested in gaming on a MacBook. MacBooks are already significantly worse than PCs in terms of gaming, but I think you can get away with it a little bit better on a 15-inch rather than a 13-inch because, I don't know, maybe you guys didn't even know I used a MacBook, but yeah, you can totally make cool videos on a MacBook if you want to. So Team Apple all of the way, you guys. And you guys might be wondering why I don't get a PC instead if I know that they're better for gaming. And the reason is I just like Apple products better. I think that they're so much easier to use. It's really easy to edit things on Apple products in my opinion. And also, I just have Apple everything. I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, I have a MacBook Air, I have a MacBook Pro, and I also have an Apple router. Like, my whole family just has Apple everything. So we love Apple. It's very easy to use, and yeah, it's pretty hard to make the switch over to a PC once you kind of have everything else from Apple. So yeah, that's why I'm sticking to Apple. I don't think I'll ever switch over to PC unless I need to do like some, I don't know, intense gaming that I can't do on my current device. So before I move on to the next question, I just want to say, don't you guys love those chairs that come with Get to Work? The kind of clear bucket seat kind of chairs. I don't really know what they're called. My mom probably knows what they're called, but I think they're so cute and so modern, and I tried to mix it with a wood table because I think that that's a good way to incorporate those types of pieces into your interior decorating. If you just mix those modern looking chairs with a really modern looking table, like a glass one, for example, it's kind of a little bit of overkill. So a good way to kind of balance it out and make it look a little bit more realistic or a little bit more homey is to mix kind of more modern and contemporary pieces with more traditional pieces like a wooden table or something like that. So that's what I like to do in order to balance the vibe out better so it doesn't look like overkill modern, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we got sidetracked just a little bit, but now let's move on to the next question. So this question actually came from one of my viewers named Addie Feldman. So they actually asked me over Twitter and they just DM'd me because they didn't want to leave it in the comment section. So that's always an option too, you guys. If you don't want to for whatever reason, leave your comment down below. You can always DM me on Twitter. My Twitter is Dr_Ashley. And if you want to make it anonymous or anything like that, you can tell me as well. But Addie said it was okay if I used their name. So they asked me a couple of questions, but the first one was they were wondering if I could talk about what I studied in school and what industry I work in now. So this question is a little bit more personal. The other questions that I just answered were a little bit more informational, I guess. So for those of you who don't know yet, I just recently graduated, or I guess it's not really recent anymore. It's been almost a year, but I just recently graduated from business school. So I attended the Sauder School of Business at the University of British Columbia. If you guys are interested in business, you maybe or probably have heard of that school. If not, then you probably have never heard of it. But it's a pretty well-known business school. It's one of the best in the world, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I recently just graduated from that and I majored in finance. So I'm not really sure what areas or backgrounds my viewers come from, but basically in business school you can choose a major and you can major in like marketing or accounting or finance or human resources or operations and all these different majors you can choose, but the major that I chose was finance because it was what I was the most interested in, I guess, or it was what I was best at. But while I studied there, I also learned, everything else. So I learned marketing and I learned accounting and all that kind of stuff. So if you ever have thought that, I promote my channel really well or my Twitter is really well done or anything like that, it's because I did study marketing in business school. So I do kind of have that background when it comes to how I present my channel and how I interact on social media. I think everything that I do on the internet is part of my brand, so everything that I do is rather professional, I suppose. So if you guys need any tips or want any tips about that, feel free to DM me because, I did go to university for that. So that is what I studied in school. I went to business school, but I majored in finance. So the second part of the question is she asked me what industry I work in now. So since I did major in finance, I do now work in the finance industry. If you don't know what the finance industry is, think like Wall Street, like New York, that type of thing. Suits. Yeah, definitely a lot of suits. So when I go to work, I wear a suit every day. Sometimes not really, though. Sometimes I dress down a lot. But for the most part, it's a lot of suits, very professional, very like typical businesswoman, businessman type of thing. So I don't know how much detail to actually go into because I don't know how many of you will actually know what I'm talking about. But generally speaking, I work in the finance industry, but more specifically, the company or the industry that I work in is asset management. So if you guys know what that means, then cool. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Oh, I know how to explain it, you guys. So, in The Sims 4, you can choose the business career as one of the career options. Well, that's what I'm doing, but in real life. So, I believe I would be around level 3 or level 4 of the business career, but in real life. And then, how when you get to level 7 of the business career, you get to choose between 2 different branches. So, there's the management branch and the investor branch. So I would technically be in the investor branch in The Sims 4, but in real life. So I hope that clears it up for you guys if you're confused. I should have just compared it to The Sims 4 all along. That always makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, but in real life. But yeah, for those of you who are maybe going down a similar path as I am, you might be really interested in what I do. And if you want to reach out and chat with me more on Twitter about anything business or finance related or university related, feel free. I'd love to. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it probably sounds really, really boring. So I'm really sorry if you aren't interested in that. But let me know down below if you guys are planning on going to university, or if you did go to university, and what you want to study or what you did study, or just what do you guys do for work, or what do you guys want to do for work. I would love to know a little bit more about you guys as well. So I do want to mention another thing about the builds. It looks like I'm doing like a kind of answer a question, then talk about the build, then answer a question, then talk about the build type of thing, because I do want to, talk about both. But the kind of vibe I was going for when I was furnishing it was not cluttered at all, because the ceilings are really high. I used the highest type of wall, I think, and the person that I imagine living here is really girly and kind of like an Instagram model or a social media star, if you know what I mean. So the interior is very minimalistic and very open, almost like she doesn't live here very often, if you know what I mean. She's always traveling around the world and going to photo shoots and going to parties, and she just has the house for the aesthetic, It's not actually super lived in, and she just has a lot of people over all the time. She has a huge dining table, even though there's only ever one person living here, so it's kind of just not very lived in and not super cluttered, if you know what I mean. If you guys have seen those like celebrity house tours that Vogue does. I believe it's Vogue. I'm not really sure. It's like some sort of magazine that like interviews celebrities and they go to their houses and have like a house tour. You can see that their houses are super nice and modern, but it doesn't look lived in at all. And I was kind of going for that for this house too, because I feel like the social media star that lives here maybe doesn't even hang around here very often and kind of just uses it to entertain and stuff like that. Okay, so on to the next question. This question is from Golden Simmer, and she asked, what kind of TV shows or movies do I like? So this is a great question. I don't actually have a ton of time to watch movies or TV. I barely have enough time to watch YouTube, as you guys know, because I'm so busy. So I only ever really watch like one show at a time. And the TV show that I'm currently watching, I'm not caught up on it yet, so don't spoil anything, you guys. But I'm currently watching Riverdale. And it's actually funny because Riverdale is actually filmed in my city. So my parents have actually been on the show and they've been on the set before. And I also was going to be on the show, but then I was too busy. And yeah, but the cast of Riverdale is actually pretty good friends and pretty close with some people I know, so some of my friends. So if you go out to a bar in my city, it's pretty common to see them out all the time. And they actually go to the gym that is connected to my work. So when I walk to work every morning, I see the cast members all the time going to the gym. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's the TV show that I'm currently watching. And the type of movies I like so many different movies, pretty much anything. The movies that I don't like are scary movies. I hate scary movies, so that's probably the only genre of movie I don't like. But everything else I love. But if anyone is wondering what is my number one all-time favorite movie, I guess it's not one movie, it's movies, but it's the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Those are my 3 favorite movies in the entire world. So here I am decorating the upstairs, and you can see I actually put a bar in the corner here. And you might be thinking that's kind of a little bit of a weird spot to put a bar. You would think you'd put it on the main floor where the kind of dining kitchen area is. However, what I was thinking was the person that lives here kind of invites a lot of people over and invites her team over and her girlfriends over to have kind of like a photo shoot party. And there's drinks and there's music, and it's just like a fun time up here where they're just taking photos and having photo shoots and, living the Instagram model life, So yeah, that's kind of what I was going for here. But again, if you don't really like that, you can change it into whatever you want. I just thought that it kind of fit the vibe really well and kind of gave me like magazine editorial vibes or something like that. I'm not really sure, but in my head it works, so let me know if you understand where I was coming from. Okay, so I actually realized that I totally didn't answer the second half of Chrissy York's question. However, I don't think that I have enough time to answer it. So she asked, what is my favorite aspect of The Sims 4? And yeah, there's a lot to talk about for that question, so I'm actually going to be answering it next time. So Chrissy York, if you are watching this and you realize that I didn't answer the second half, don't worry, I will answer it next time. Along with all of the other questions that I didn't get to answer in this video. So if I didn't get to your question in this video, don't worry, I will talk about it next time. And I didn't really tackle them in any kind of order, I just kind of picked them randomly. So don't worry, I will answer all of your questions. So feel free to leave more down below if you want to, and also let me know what you guys thought of my very first build using the Get to Work expansion pack. I thought this was so much fun. It was definitely very white and bright. You can see me kind of trying to add in little subtle pops of color, but I didn't want to make it colorful. I wanted it to be very subtle and very white and elegant. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this one. Well, that concludes our Instagram models palace build today and part 1 of my Q&A and my very first build ever using the Get to Work expansion pack. Wow, there were a lot of firsts in this build, you guys. But if you liked what you saw today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what you thought about it. And also feel free to leave a comment down below if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future video. And if this is our first time meeting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be friends or if you want to see more weekly Sims 4 build videos. I upload these videos once per week at the same time every week, so I will see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody!